Good morning, St. Lucia. Wake up. We're rising and shining today and waking you up with some good vibes and giving you a reason to put something down on your calendar. That's if, of course, a lot of people have been asking for highlights. But Oktoberfest is coming. It's happening on Sunday. It's one of the most anticipated events leading up to Creole Heritage Month. It's something I feel that has grown tremendously, and it's like a must-do on the St. Lucian calendar. So after saying all of this, now let me have some real good morning manners and welcome Rohan. How are you today?
I am great.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. He's the brand manager for Guinness, but it's all about Oktoberfest today. So where do we even start? I mean, Oktoberfest, you know, where it started and where it is today is just amazing.
Nikki David.
So, I mean, how do
just
you all
the mother
personally feel
and a concerned St. Lucian.
Well, let me start by saying, well, thanks for having me. Good morning to St. Lucia. We're extremely excited. It always seems a bit nostalgic because it's like it comes around so quickly, but it's almost a year, so you have so much time to plan in advance, and it's just been a great feeling to once again be able to put on this activity, put on this massive event that we've done every year. It's the 11th year, so the 11th installment year of Oktoberfest, correct? And I think it's a sense of, or it's a testament to how strong the company is. I mean, anything that we put our mind to, even the brand team and the wider commercial team and even the wider organization, you clearly see that there's a deliberate sense of creating a certain standard, consistency, that you always know what to expect, but at the same time there's always something fresh and innovative and that we come up with.
For them, it's another example of police brutality that they have been hearing a lot about. They feel very strongly about it, and they're very saddened by it.
It's not played out, so it doesn't seem like same old, because it really is fresh and innovative, as you were saying. So it is 2018, 11th year of Oktoberfest.
I am here today because I have two sons in America, and I would not say I would want to be in the family shoes,
so the
but I dread the day
of the show.
I would get a call. So in support of my children, those I have in America, then I choose to be here today to show support
and it's
for
all
the
about,
family.
the objective is always to excite you, the public, excite persons like yourself, what beer has to offer. And persons, I mean, the variety of beer around the world is tremendous, and it's something that, you know, people you don't get to experience it if you don't get to really get out of St. Lucia. So the whole concept is really bringing all of these international beers to you, and in one arena, in one place where you can come out and you can sample.
I mean,
Yes.
they always say more recently added the
And that is something I wanted to touch on, is that Oktoberfest has existed outside of St. Lucia for a very long time. If you see the signature beer, which is the Paulina beer, which we have every year, it is the beer of Oktoberfest. It has always been the signature beer. But the fact that we are very unique and we are very cultural, that we had to add this twist, so it's Oktoberfest Aqueol. So you have that element, and this is what brings in the food, and people love the food. There was an addition last year with the Creole bread, and that sold out very quickly. So hopefully he will be having a lot more. But I think it's just the perfect event for so many different things. The entertainment, we've elected to do a full cast of local entertainment, and there was a reason for that when we thought about even the how would you say, the springboard of St. Lucian talent now internationally. It shows you that we are, as an island, we have an award-winning beer in Peter Beer. We have now our new Peter Go, which we just launched, which we believe will be an award-winning beer as well. The fact that we have so many things unique to our island let us know that there's not much that we need to look for overseas. That you can come to the show and enjoy the forecast that we have. We have DYP, we have a number of the St. Lucian artists, we have the folk bands. I mean, everything you could possibly think of to just give you this perfect mix.
And that sounds great. I love how you all have taken it and made it St. Lucian. So, you know, even around the world, for persons who love their bears and follow this event, they know this is St. Lucia's version. Because just recently, a couple of weeks ago, a relative of mine who's in Alaska was like, oh, they're going over to Oktoberfest. I was like, oh, wait, you guys have it there too? And I was like, wait, it's true, it is international. I said, well, ours is coming up. And then I was sharing all the differences and what really makes it have that St. Lucian too. So like we've taken it and made it our own. So it's something, to attract even not just us St. Lucians, but people outside, you know, to come and experience St. Lucia's Oktoberfest. So we're having it here. It's happening on Sunday. What time do the gates open?
So gates open at 2 p.m. The key things to know that we always have our master brew. This means it's something that we do especially for Oktoberfest. We have our master brewer, so it's a sampling that we do at the gate. So you have that when you get in. Also, there's something very new for Strongbow coming out. So all the persons who love cider, there's something that we will be doing at Oktoberfest. We'll be launching something new. So you can come out and look for that. We have also a craft area where you actually see the whole process to the making of beer. So we actually straight away from just showing you the brands that we're taking you into. This is what beer is all about and how exciting it can be.
You know what, every year, if it's not saucy, it's
With
you.
all that said, with
And I
all
look
that
forward
is
to this
done,
interview
one thing we
because
know is
it
that
just
we're
never
definitely
gets
going
old,
to
and
keep
there's
pushing
something
for justice
very much to
for
look
both
forward to.
of
So
them.
now we're going to get bear educated whilst we're there, and we're going to see, of course, and keep our eyes open for what's going to be
Good
special
morning,
with the
everybody. How
Strongbow
are you
brand.
feeling? In the
So
mood
there's
for an
plenty of reasons to
adventure?
come
Well, our
support our
friends at
local
the
artists, enjoy
Archaeological
our
and
food.
Historical
It's right at the
Society
heels
had a
of us getting
petroglyph
prepared
tour,
to launch
and we were
Creole
able to
Heritage
have
Month, which is
some
happening the
moments of that
following
and hear
day.
from
So
some
that's like
people
your
who
kickstart, your
participated.
prime.
Let's check it out.
It is the line to go to. And
And
how
then
much
we
is it?
we always endorsed by the FRC, so it's almost like the
Okay.
unofficial launching to the Heritage Month, which is perfect. Tickets are $50. It's at the cell. They're available at the cell. It's more at the door or more at the gate. So I'd advise persons try. I think we have a storm coming. It will not be here to interfere with Oktoberfest, but it may interfere with your time to go out and get the tickets. So please do
Be
so.
an early bird.
Yes.
Don't
But
wait
yeah,
till you
also remember no re-entry. Although there's the element of being able to buy, there's a dry stock bar. And I think as we always mention, you learn from the things you've done before. We have a number of persons who always want to come out and buy some of the beers, not necessarily cold to consume now, but they want to bring it home. And I always think that there's those guys, I call them the show-off guys, because they want to buy the pop or the big beers and they want to bring it home, put it on the shelves, or probably when they have friends over, they can drink it at this point. So you have the ability to do that. Membet will be there. Give Membet a plug. She has some lovely bags that you can purchase. Put your bears in there. You could take them out. We have Shuriap. We'll be doing a lovely foot spa area. There are a number of different things. And let me say once again, as you mentioned, Sylvester, there's myself, there is Fern, there is Davio, there's an entire team. So Oktoberfest is not necessarily owned by a particular brand manager, but the full entire commercial team takes part in it. So it really brings us all together and executing this event to the level that you see.
Super. Well, you see that? There's the camaraderie, everybody coming together to give us an amazing experience. So it's Oktoberfest. It is Sunday. Get your tickets in advance at the cell, and we look forward to seeing you there. Rohan, thank you for stopping
Thank you
through.
for having me.
I know it's so busy, the days leading up to it, so we are very lucky to have you here today.
Thank you.
Guys, we're going to look out and see you at
We have to find
Oktoberfest.
ways to get information transmitted out so that they can use the gadgets to really get that information so they understand. And of course, without an understanding of your culture, you really have a problem with identity. So we are hoping to use the various media available, including the cell phones that the young people are very much into using, so that we can get the right message to them, so that they can understand our culture, and in the process, and reinforce our identity as St. Lucians.
My name's Christopher Kent. I'm a Peace Corps volunteer teaching at ADSA Combined School. It's been awesome. I've heard someone say at the beginning of the day that they don't get many people on these tours, but I came out and there's like 50 people out here, and I'm like, this isn't a lot. This is like a lot of people. This is awesome to see this many people come out and take part in this. To see that people are still looking for these petroglyphs is really cool. That means there's a lot of culture here that we just is coming to find. What stood out to me the most had to have been how similar the petroglyphs were. It definitely seemed like a cohesive society and culture that made them. And we were far apart. I mean, like 20 minutes driving distance, which is a lot to walk, at least 20 minutes. So to see that these people were on the island and different parts of the island all with this cohesive sense of culture and community was really cool, and like cool to see still have relics of that, remnants.
Definitely make me feel more appreciative. I'm a history student by nature, so therefore this is not out of the ordinary of something that I would do, but hopefully that such an activity can just go beyond members and people who are history buff or people who actually have a love for history. Hopefully can actually penetrate the education system, as that's something I think which is lacking severely in St. Lucia, in terms of having a greater understanding and appreciation of our history. it needs to start at a younger age, and activities such as this should be much more frequent, and as well as try to find its way into the education system as well. So St. Lucia is a tiny island. Yes, it's tiny in comparison to other places, but there is a wealth of activities to do here in St. Lucia. Don't just leave it to let the tourists do it. Actually, the catchphrase is that I live where they vacation. There is a lot. People who are foreigners and outsiders love our country immensely. It doesn't need to take us to leave St. Lucia to have that appreciation for St. Lucia, and find ways and carve out the time in our busy schedules and get to do more activities.
Hopefully this initiative will continue and happen more frequently, because based on the feedback from the persons who took part, it's definitely something we need to have more of. Now don't go anywhere, we'll be back. Good morning, good people. Guess what? A meeting was held recently, and this was with the sole purpose of trying to put measures in place to assist communities, regions, areas in times of disasters. And one thing discussed was emergency cash transfer. Now, this has been tested in Dominica, and it was something that came up at this meeting. So let's hear what they have to say.
Dr. Grace Ann Cornwall, head of the Social Development Unit at the organization Eastern Caribbean States Commission. OECS, as well as our collaborative partner UNICEF, we made a decision to organize this forum to increase the region's ability to respond to natural disasters, primarily our social services sectors, as well as our national emergency management offices. It's very important that once we go through periods of natural disaster, we place our populations, particularly the most vulnerable, in a position to respond to that, to those situations, and get their lives back on track in the highest level of dignity as well as efficiency. As indicated today, we have representation from various social services across the OECS region, our national emergency offices within St. Lucia. This is represented by our ministry. We have representation from our Ministry of Equity. From St. Vincent, we have representation from our Ministry of Mobilization. We also have representation from our national emergency offices across the region.
Well, this is an initiative that has been coordinated through the OECS Secretariat in collaboration with UNICEF, and it is really designed at a sub-regional level for us to develop, discuss, and hopefully put in place mechanisms that would ensure that emergency cash transfers are delivered to vulnerable populations in times of disasters and emergencies. So for us, it's very timely. This is the season when we are confronted with these types of emergencies, and it really is an attempt to examine our systems to see how responsive we are to supporting vulnerable persons in those situations through cash transfers. It really is an attempt to assist vulnerable populations who become vulnerable in times of emergencies, but by doing it not through what typically has been the process where you try to provide them with material support, but to give them the sort of dignity and authority to take decisions about their own family situations by providing them directly with cash, so that they make decisions about what things need to be done in this emergency situation, in the aftermath of an emergency, in terms of their house, in terms of the educational needs, in terms of their nutritional needs. But you put the onus and the responsibility on the household to do that by providing them directly with the cash. And that has been something that UNICEF has been promoting. In fact, the experiences of Dominica and the British Virgin Islands in more recent times is part and parcel of the discussion that we're having here today, to see how this can become part of any system that we currently have in St. Lucia and in the OECS sub-region.
My name is Muriel Mafiko. I'm the Deputy Representative for the UNICEF Office for Eastern Caribbean area. This meeting is really looking at options that can be used when communities are affected by disasters. Or when communities are affected by economic challenges. So in this particular case, the use of cash, giving families that have been affected by a crisis cash, is a way of helping them to recover. It is a way of helping them to rebuild their families after they've been affected by a disaster. So that is the purpose. We are here to learn from countries that have used these approaches so that we see how applicable or how we can use these approaches in the Caribbean region. The use of cash in disasters has been tried in many countries, in many regions. The Caribbean region recently, through Dominica, experimented the use of cash in emergencies. We know from the Dominica experience that cash made a difference for those families. We have the testimonies of families that received some cash, and they have shared how that money was very important to help them to get back on their feet.
This is how we end your morning. It's a Tuesday, but it's technically a Tuesday Monday because it's the start of the week for us, really and truly. First working day, first day back at school. So everybody, let us make it start from here and move forward with that positive energy, focus, and let's get things done. We're in a brand new month, so hello October as well, and hello to everybody who's an October born and celebrating today. So happy birthday to you, and go out there, be amazing, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on This Morning.